Wow, what has been happening with Bitcoin and Ether lately? In the last couple of months, and particularly in the last couple of weeks, Ether has crossed $1,000 mark, Bitcoin has crossed a $30,000 mark, and this is insane because back in March when the lockdowns have happened, both of the cryptocurrencies crashed and Ether was just below $200, Bitcoin was just below $5,000, and there has been an insane rally, an insane amount of interest in the currency in the last couple of weeks. In this video, you will hear from the experts talking about what is really happening and how should we be approaching it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Luba and I'm a former product manager and a software engineer in Silicon Valley. And today I'd love to debunk what is happening with the crypto market at the moment. I'm talking to three different experts, three friends of mine: Daniel Q, former Coinbase software engineer, founder of Pagoda. His previous company was acquired by Coinbase. Liam Horn, the co-founder of ETH Global, and Hasib Qureshi, the managing partner of Dragonfly Capital, a cryptocurrency investment fund. I'd love for you guys to hear from the experts in the space on the topics of why the rally is happening, why is it happening for Bitcoin, why is it happening for Ether, what should a regular consumer be doing, should we really start thinking about educating ourselves on cryptocurrency if we're not yet, and will Bitcoin go to $100,000, and where should we be allocating our money? So what's happening? Why is there such a huge Bitcoin rally?
So there's definitely like a myriad of reasons why the prices are increasing across cryptocurrencies right now. So for example, what we're noticing a lot in the Bitcoin space specifically is that there's a lot of institutional money, like large hedge funds or large institutional investors, the types of people that normally would be putting their money into, a diversified portfolio of gold and silver and different international bonds and whatnot. Those types of entities are now looking at Bitcoin and thinking, hey, this might be something that's comparable to gold, in the sense that it's a useful store of value that's uncorrelated to all sorts of other things in the stock market. So from the institutional money standpoint, this is something that has been being talked about as eventually happening. So that's one reason. Like there's several knock-on effects from that. That's perhaps trickling into some of the other currencies like Ethereum.
There are a lot of things happening at the same time. One is there's a lot of macro forces that people are concerned about inflation. They're concerned about the economic recovery. There's a lot of consensus building around Bitcoin being an interesting macro asset. So over the course of this year, from the beginning of the year, there was very little institutional adoption of Bitcoin. There was Fidelity, there were a few other players who were sniffing around the edges, and this year has completely changed. The institutional awareness of crypto has completely turned a corner.
Theses that are going around. So one of the main ones is like institutions are buying Bitcoin. So this idea is that like Square recently announced that they were putting like 50 million on their balance sheet. And then there's MicroStrategy, which put like 500 mil. So that's one thing. I think there's like definitely some retail, like average consumer buying that's going on as well, given all the price news.
What should a regular consumer be excited about or learn about?
So if you don't know anything at all about crypto, you need to kind of be very careful in the way that you begin learning about it, because there's so many different angles you can come at it from. Like one angle is obviously the thing I was describing prior. It's a decentralized store of value, similarly to gold. It's a thing that you can hold your money in, and you can know that there's not going to be more printed of it. That's another way you can come at it. Another way you can come at it is as basically from like the gambling, quite frankly, standpoint. Like these assets are all 100% free traded on an open market 24/7. So that means you can buy and sell things. You can speculate on things. You can even release your own token, and you can encourage people to speculate on that. So it's a completely unregulated 24/7. Yeah, from a consumer standpoint, it's really like you could spend your whole career in this domain, whether it's from the financial standpoint, thinking about money, whether it's thinking about the technology, or whether it's just literally treating it as a way of speculating. So it's very fascinating from that standpoint, but it's not just something you dabble in. You have to really understand what you're doing.
It's never too late to get yourself up to speed on what the hell is all this stuff and why does it matter. I think it's a little bit easier this time around. People are a little bit calmer during this cycle, although maybe in the last couple of days they may have changed. But generally speaking, I think understanding at least what is Bitcoin, what is Ether, what roles do they play, and why are they being valued so highly? I think that's a really good place to start.
That's always a tough question to ask when it's like all-time highs. I think that's been true for a while, that there has been legitimate development happening for the last couple of years. And it is only now that like people are hearing about it more because the price is up and people are writing about it in the news. But yeah, there's been a lot of really interesting stuff happening in the bear market, which is when teams get to like hunker down and actually build stuff without being distracted by, you know, Lambos and whatever, like price going up. Like people are all like Googling how much does a house cost or whatever, like thinking about buying houses now. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff happening in the last year.
Bitcoin 200K soon?
Yeah, no, like the number one thing I would not advise is don't try to buy this stuff to get rich quick. Like it won't, it might work. That's what's scary about it, but it probably won't work. So if you wouldn't go into a casino and put up like 20% of all your money on some like one-armed bandit, you probably shouldn't just be buying and selling daily crypto. You're probably going to get burned. It's just the nature of these systems. If you've learned about the technology, you've learned about the value of money, you've learned about the types of things that this technology can enable, and you yourself personally believe that that's important, and you're willing to say, I, with my funds, I'm willing to bet on that in the long term, then you can make an argument for investing in this stuff. But if you're just looking at it at a surface level of like, how can I get rich quick? You have to be prepared to get burned, because it's going to move without you having any control, and it's very difficult to mentally be okay with that if you're putting up more money than you're willing to lose.
Well, so I don't give advice on speculation or price. So, it depends on you, depends on your time horizon, depends on what you believe about what the value of these assets should be. Generally speaking, the one advice I would give is that if you don't know a lot about these markets and you're not a very experienced, trader, you probably shouldn't try to day trade. If you do want exposure to these assets, the number one strategy for making money in crypto is to buy a lot of it and then to go to sleep for 10 years and never touch it. And almost nobody does that. It's incredibly challenging to get people to just leave their damn investment alone. So if there were any advice I would give, it's that whatever allocation you want to have, buy that allocation and then stop looking at it.
In terms of like, if you're getting in now, you do have to be careful because once again, it is at like an all-time high. So maybe like a time-weighted average strategy would be good. Like just buy once a day or like once a week so that you get some average price and you don't just like get a really bad deal and feel bad about it later. I'm not really a trading type. I don't trade too much. More of a like buy and hold kind of person. And one of the reasons for that is that I have traded a bunch in the past. And at the end of the day, like whether I make money or lose money, I feel like I didn't learn too much. I learned a little bit about trading, but they're like very expensive lessons sometimes. And I would rather build something and have built like knowledge afterwards and have something that I, like a product or something in front of me at the end of the day.
I've had a lot of friends really early on in crypto, and I've always kind of been disregarding crypto as something that I just don't understand and don't take the time to figure out. And a couple of months ago, maybe too late to the party, I've been investing a lot of time into learning about crypto, about listening closer to my smart friends in the space, listening to lectures. I'm taking A16Z crypto school lectures right now. And they're really great if you want to check them out. I'll leave the link below in the description. But I really think this is the time when things are happening. And based on what Liam, Hasib, and Daniel just said in the video, institutional and investors, traditional money is pouring into Bitcoin at the moment, and that just means validation. And I think personally that this is the time to really know what is going on, to at least know what is Bitcoin, what is Ether, what are the differences, how do they work, because this is the time when cryptocurrency is really having its moment, and it's going to just continue potentially replacing real currency. So definitely do not want to be left behind, and I don't want you guys to be left behind. So this is the time to learn and educate ourselves. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned how to approach cryptos from this video. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to this channel. But for now, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.